Welcome to MogulCast, where we uncover the stories behind the world's greatest business empires. Let's get into today's story. March 12, 2026. 9:03 a.m. The email lands in 12,000 inboxes at once, effective immediately. Your role has been automated. No warning. No severance. Just a login to a new AI dashboard. That morning, Accenture became the first Fortune 500 company to replace 40% of its workforce with AI. By June, 1,621 companies had followed. 378,000 jobs, gone. This is the full story. And it is worse than you think. Rewind to 2023. Silicon Valley was euphoric. Sam Altman, CEO of OpenAI, stood on stage and promised AI would create 100 million new jobs. Venture capitalists poured $42 billion into AI startups. The narrative was simple: AI would handle the boring tasks, humans would move up. But behind closed doors, a different conversation was happening. One decision, made in a boardroom in 2024, would change everything. We will come back to that. The first cracks appeared in late 2025. IBM, a company that had survived a century of technological revolutions, announced it would replace 30% of its back-office roles with AI by 2026. The stock price soared. Competitors took note. But no one understood the scale of what was coming. The AI models being trained weren't just smarter, they were cheaper. A single AI agent could do the work of 10 humans. And it never asked for a raise. By January 2026, the dam broke. Accenture's layoffs weren't an anomaly, they were a blueprint. Companies realized AI wasn't just for customer service or data entry. It could write code, design products, even manage teams. The cost savings were irresistible. A human software engineer cost $150,000 a year. An AI? $12,000. The math was undeniable. But not everyone was celebrating. The layoffs didn't just hit the usual suspects: call centers, data entry, basic coding. They hit roles no one expected. Marketing managers. HR directors. Even mid-level executives. AI could now analyze market trends, write ad copy, and approve budgets, faster and with fewer errors. The message was clear: no job was safe. But here is what the media completely got wrong about this. The media framed this as a battle between humans and machines. But the real story was about power. Companies weren't just replacing workers, they were consolidating control. AI didn't need unions. It didn't demand equity. And it never leaked to the press. The strategy was simple: automate the roles that could be automated, then use the savings to acquire competitors. By June 2026, 42% of the S&P 500 had announced AI-driven layoffs. The first major crisis hit on April 3, 2026. A bug in an AI hiring tool at Amazon led to 7,000 qualified candidates being rejected in a single day. The algorithm had been trained on historical hiring data, and it had learned to discriminate. The backlash was immediate. But the damage was done. Companies realized AI wasn't just a tool, it was a mirror. And it reflected their worst biases back at them. May 2026. The tipping point. A leaked internal memo from Google revealed the company had secretly replaced 15% of its workforce with AI over the past year. The memo's title: Project Phoenix, Rising from the Ashes of Human Labor. The public outrage was deafening. But the stock market? It hit an all-time high. Investors didn't care about jobs. They cared about profits. And AI was delivering. By June, the layoffs had spread beyond tech. Wall Street. Healthcare. Even law firms. AI could now draft legal briefs, diagnose diseases, and trade stocks, all with minimal human oversight. The jobs being erased weren't just repetitive. They were cognitive. And if you've made it this far, you already understand something most analysts completely missed: this wasn't about efficiency. It was about control. The crisis reached its peak on June 15, 2026. A coalition of 200,000 laid-off workers filed the largest class action lawsuit in history against 47 Fortune 500 companies. Their claim: that AI-driven layoffs violated labor laws by failing to provide adequate notice. The case is still pending. But the message was clear: the age of AI wasn't just coming. It was here. And it was rewriting the rules. The legacy of the AI layoffs of 2026 is still being written. But one thing is clear: the job market will never be the same. Companies that resisted automation are now playing catch-up. Those that embraced it, they're reaping the rewards. But at what cost? The unemployment rate in tech hubs like San Francisco and Austin has hit 12%, the highest since the dot-com crash. And it's not slowing down. The impact extends beyond the US. In India, 50,000 IT workers lost their jobs in a single week. In Germany, unions are pushing for AI regulation. And in China, the government is racing to build its own AI workforce, before the West leaves them behind. The world is splitting into two camps: those who control AI, and those who are controlled by it. Remember that decision we mentioned at the start? Here is what it actually cost. That decision was made in a boardroom in 2024. A single line in a PowerPoint deck: automate 20% of roles by 2026. No one thought it would happen this fast. No one thought it would happen at all. But once the first domino fell, the rest followed. The cost? 378,000 jobs. $4.2 trillion in market value shifted. And a fundamental trust between employers and employees, broken. By the numbers: 1,621 companies. 378,000 jobs. 42% of the S&P 500. $4.2 trillion in market value shifted. 200,000 workers suing for wrongful termination. 12% unemployment in tech hubs. And one question: what happens when AI starts replacing the people who built it? The lesson? AI isn't just a tool. It's a mirror. It reflects the best and worst of the systems we've built. And right now, it's exposing something ugly: that efficiency and humanity don't always align. The companies that survive this wave won't be the ones that automate the fastest. They'll be the ones that ask the hardest question: what are we willing to lose? If you want to understand how this pattern repeats across every major business collapse, the next video covers a story with disturbing parallels. A company that promised to change the world, until it changed itself into something unrecognizable. That one is next. That's the story for today on MogulCast. If you found this valuable, subscribe and hit the bell. A new empire story drops every single weekday. See you tomorrow.